Stop judging intent and start asking better questions. Hey guys, welcome back to 5-0, 100-0.com. I am Fugit. And that stands for the fittest underdog guru using intelligent tactics. And today, guys, I want to talk to you about relationships, okay? Think about whenever a loved one, a coworker, a boss, a friend communicates something to you, whether it's via text or something on the phone or whatever, right? Something that bothers you or offends you, triggers you, as they say, and you get offended by it, right? And what usually happens is instead of actually talking to the person about it, we keep this like socially appropriate reaction of, oh, okay, or, or just kind of getting a little bit closed off and have an attitude, instead of what we should do, which is have some follow-up questions, clear up confusion. How many times have you had somebody offend you in your circle, and then you go to friends and you're like, can you believe they did this? Can you believe they did that? And over the years working with the public and having my circle of friends and whatnot, I've had this conversation many times, and it's dawned on me in more recent years that, and my reaction to those conversations has been, well, why don't you talk to them? Why don't you ask them? It's like in our culture, we have a really hard time in the United States, being direct. We have polite ways of getting out or rejecting somebody. For instance, if you have those friends that you don't like to hang out with, you don't just tell them, I don't like you, I don't want to hang out with you. Usually it's, no, I can't, and you pass on so many engagements, right? Social engagements. It's the guy that keeps asking the girl out, and she's nice enough to keep him on the hook, but what her intent was to just not hurt his feelings, right? But getting back to whenever you're, hurt over or offended by someone else's words or their actions that you don't understand or doesn't compute, doesn't make sense, usually it's because there was miscommunication there. So my recommendation is to figure out and develop strategies and techniques to ask better questions as opposed to reacting with offense or hurt, because generally that's what's going on. I've seen many relationships fall apart and dissolve that did not need to be. People that were really good friends, they were there for each other through thick and thin and had what seemed to be very good bonds, and then over one little argument or some kind of a misunderstanding, things fell apart quickly. And what I noticed time and time again is that they stopped asking questions, they stopped communicating, and then just started to react based on what they perceived the person's intent was or what those words meant to them. And a lot of times it takes a little digging both ways and some patience and letting go of the preconceived idea of what their intention was and moving forward, trying to figure out, because you can save a lot of those relationships. How many times have you, this is one form of it, texted somebody and they texted back and the reaction was either cold or you didn't feel like it was really very in depth, and you poured your heart out and a lot of thought into either making plans for something or trying to share or get information about something, and you get these 1 or 2 word texts back. Well, a lot of times we think, God, they're lazy or they don't care or they're just dismissive, but the truth is they could have been either driving, having a conversation in person with somebody, working on some work, for the career. You just don't know, and that's because you didn't ask. A lot of times it's easier on the phone or in person to understand someone's tone or hear their tone, the way they say it. What is it? They always, you hear men complain, women will say, oh, I just gave her an answer. It's like a robot or just real direct. And she's like, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. And it's true. And you gotta, realize those things. If you are a man and you want to have a relationship, good relationship with a female significant other, a lot of times women can be like that. They want to know, like, that you love them, that you nurture them. You know, how do you say it? How do you look at them? You know, there's a big difference between, like, yeah, I'd love to go to dinner with you tonight, honey, and sure, you picked the place. You might be excited, but the way you communicated was very lazy, and it communicates that you don't really care, or that you're cold, or that something's wrong. And so you've got to find a way to stop, if that happens to you, to stop judging their intent first, and not get offended, and not run to friends and, you know, just to complain, unless you're seeking their take on it, their advice, but just to kind of beat up on the other person, you know. Instead, it's good to just simply communicate with the person, and you might find that your fears and suspicions were true, and they were being a jerk, or they are a jerk, or whatnot. But oftentimes, I don't find that to be the case. I think most people are usually good, or seek to do good, and they want to be liked. They want to be accepted just like you do. And so I think if you start from that position, giving the benefit of the doubt can go a long way to save your relationship and strengthen the relationships you have and the future relationships you will have. So just my thoughts, guys. Take care. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you again soon.